Rams fans and fans of the rest of the NFC West. Hope everybody's having an awesome time. Us as Rams fans are still healing ourselves a little bit, but we are here to talk about the NFC West and all of the games that happened, not only the Rams and the 49ers, but also the Panthers against the Cardinals and the Seahawks against the Green Bay Packers. But let's bring in the squad here. First, we got joining us, as usual, the AZ Sports Fan. What's up, man? How you doing?
What up, what up, what up? I'm a little sad, but it's okay. We'll talk about it a little later. It's a therapy session for me.
I feel that. And then tonight, we actually do not have CG with us, but we got a more than capable replacement for CG, which is John Jay of the 49ers Ultimate Report, man. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be on this roundtable, and I'm going to make CG proud.
Love it.
It's good stuff, man. And then Steezy, of course, will be in shortly. We'll just pop him in when he comes in. But, you know, we did get we plowed through now. We're getting way too late in the season, it feels like already. It's I'm not ready to be here yet. I feel emotionally like we're in like week 4, week 5. I am not ready to be more than halfway through this. It's been fun already, but you know, we did have a couple of crazy games. We'll talk about ours here in a little bit, Rams and 49ers, but let's go ahead and start with that Arizona Cardinals game. Did not necessarily go well the way I wanted it to, but
right.
Not necessarily to everybody. So what you got on that one, man?
Yeah, so that game was a little confusing game to me here in terms of a Cardinal fan. I mean, I was pretty psyched up. I was stoked, you know, possibly going 9-1. I had a watch party, and I felt like every 5 minutes I had to pump up the people in the chat because everybody was losing hope. And I'm like, all right, comeback season. But honestly, I think when it came down to it, I feel like the Carolina Panthers, they were riding a high, and they were playing playoff football that game compared to the Arizona Cardinals. They got Cam Newton, and I do think that was their life jacket, man. That they were sinking. They were sinking in the ocean, and they needed a life jacket, and that's exactly what they held on to, and they played like it. The Arizona Cardinals started off bad with it was Hassan Reddick, our former player, ended up strip sacking our backup quarterback, Colt McCoy, and it kind of started off just bad from there. In a blink of an eye, it was 14-0, and then another blink, it was 17-0. And I feel like we were out of our comfort zone. We were just trying to do too much. Cliff Kingsbury was forcing some stuff, being very, very, very predictable. A lot of quarterback sneaks that weren't really working for the Arizona Cardinals, and everything just kind of crumbled. But I do like to say, you know, the Carolina Panthers play a very good game. They were a 4-5 team. They're now a 5-5 team, but man, that defense is actually pretty darn good. And for the record, the Carolina Panthers always has the Arizona Cardinals number. I don't know what it is, but they always beat us. And it sucks that I had to have a little PTSD about, 2015 NFC Conference Championship during this game, because that's what it felt like. It really sucked.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, especially like just seeing how fast it was going. To see, I didn't necessarily think we would see Cam Newton. I thought it was a little bit of a surprise that he was even active. And then he comes in there and he's screams, "I'm back." I don't know. It's just kind of weird. He was all soft about it, but I was kind of surprised to see that, man.
Another thing too, a lot of people aren't talking about. I think the biggest storyline coming out of this game is, Cam Newton's back. Oh my God, they're going for a playoff. I honestly do. I'll pump the brakes first. They always play us good, and I think it was just a perfect storm for them. But we also didn't have Kyler. We didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. We didn't have Justin Pugh. We didn't have a lot of starters in that game, and I'm not making any excuse here, kind of, but I'm not making any excuse. But I mean, I think if we had a full squad, I think this game would have been a lot closer than it actually was.
I think that's real. That feels like it makes sense. And especially like coming off that game against the 49ers when everybody kind of thought that this is what was going to happen to that offense and just kind of struggling and stuff like that, but then it didn't work out. So, okay, I guess I'll start on this one. Rough day on Monday. It was not the best of times from myself, but I'll kind of go through like the good, the bad, the ugly, but I'll end on the good because there's not that much of that. So it'll be a fast one. But I mean, honestly, the bad is it's coaching right now. The Rams coaching staff is a mess. I like Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay is a really good coach, but how are we going to have a guy who's averaging almost 5 yards a carry and we're going to give him the football just a couple of times. Like, how are we going to do that? That you have to have that balance. And I realize that Sean McVay is excited still to have Matthew Stafford as his quarterback, but you cannot just rely on that and have him just drop back and throw the ball 40 plus times every single week. That's just not a winning formula. It's not. And then you look at the defensive side, and then you have Raheem Morris. I actually made this banner for him just today because this is absolutely ridiculous. Raheem Morris took what is maybe the best Rams defense that we've ever seen, first in against yards, first in points last year, and he took us and he made us one of the softest defenses in the NFL. And it's hard to watch when you have these players, when you have Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, now Von Miller, you got Ernest Jones in the middle, Darius Williams, who's a good player, and he's basically just tanked them all. Like it feels like there's just something missing there. And then I would say for the good, there was a moment there where on the sideline, Jalen Ramsey was getting into it with the defensive coaches. That is my biggest positive that I can pull from that, because that shows me that even the players are feeling what the Rams fans are feeling, which is this defensive scheme, whatever we're doing out there right now, is an absolute joke. It's just not working. Like, we've been playing way too soft. Why is Leonard Floyd covering George Kittle on third down? Why is David Long Jr. covering Debo on third down? And why is on that last touchdown there, one of the late touchdowns, why was Jalen Ramsey covering a rookie wide receiver who has, 4 catches on the season? Meanwhile, everybody else is getting burned out here. That makes absolutely no sense. Raheem Morris, I've officially hit the limit here. I am full on board of the fire Raheem Morris train. I can't continue just to watch this and be like, hey, man, maybe he'll turn it around, because clearly he's not. It's just not working. So I'm going #fire Raheem Morris. That's my big push this week, and probably for the rest of the season, because I don't think it'll happen. But we're going to do our best. And before we go over to you, John Jay, I have to pay the piper here a little bit. And we do our bets where when it's NFC West versus NFC West, we have to talk about how the loser has to talk about how the other team is superior. And this is honestly so much harder than doing the Arizona Cardinals one, because the Cardinals have always been like that little team off to the side, but like the Rams and 49ers, that was our 144th meeting all time, and the 49ers lead that series. It's tight. I think it's 74, 67, 3 now. So it's tight, but all time, that's a big series. So I have to say, as a Rams fan who just lost on Monday Night Football to the San Francisco 49ers, that those 49ers came to play. I think you could tell on just the vibes that Juszczyk was having. It seemed like he was the personification of the entire motives that the 49ers came into that game with. And on the defensive side, I was really thinking that going from Goff to Stafford and the 49ers not having Saleh was going to be the difference. I really did think that. And it just wasn't the case. The Rams offense struggled. 49ers, though, I don't want to make excuses. 49ers absolutely came to play. They were in there ready for that game. They were ready for everything that the Rams had to give them. And I have to admit, right now, at least, that the 49ers are the superior team. I'm looking forward to the next matchup, but definitely right now. And honestly, only NFC West team to win this week. So give it up to the 49ers. I got to give it to them. Definitely played a heck of a game this week. And, yeah, man, I hate to say any of those words, but but we'll send it down over to you, John Jay, man. I know you watched this game, of course, but what do you got on this one?
First of all, again, thanks for having me on, being, the CG substitution. CG is the brutally honest, and he just goes by his feelings. John Jay is the more analytical and more, the numbers person. So basically, this game was very, very one-sided. I was very, very, first happy that we won the game. When it comes to what the Niners did was the biggest thing that I've been criticizing Kyle Shanahan for months: run the football. They ran the football over 40 times. Jimmy Garoppolo only threw the ball 19 times. Jimmy Garoppolo had the highest passer rating of this season, and maybe probably one of the highest of his career, almost at the 150 mark, which is technically the highest. And basically, that's what Kyle started to do, is run the football. Next, it doesn't matter who guards Deebo Samuel. If you give him any open space, just any open space, you see that speed. And on 4th and 6, you saw that. Deebo Samuel was guarded really well, but you gave him that little space. He caught the ball and he took it. That's the thing about Deebo, what no one's talking about. Then George Kittle, back-to-back games with a touchdown, but Kittle is an extension of that offensive line. And when Kittle's on there, you have Kyle Juszczyk. That offensive line plays really, really good. On the defensive side of the ball, Nick Bosa is a beast. You know, I wish I could say more things about him, but I've said a lot about him. Nick Bosa, played well. A name that probably you guys don't know is Arden Key. Arden Key in the last couple of games has been sacking the quarterbacks. He's been getting after the quarterbacks. He was hurt earlier in the year. Now he's back. That's going to help us with our run game. DJ Jones played really well. Eric Armstead, played really well. And, of course, Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward, for many, many years, has been criticized by the 49ers. They wanted him to go, and he had 2 interceptions and a touchdown. So it's a reality what this 49ers team can do. When we're healthy, we go with the game plan, and we're an unstoppable team. At the end of the day, the Niners could have played more better. That run, that our run game had 100 and I think over 150 plus yards. A guy with a meniscus tear, Jeff Wilson Jr., ran it on you guys 10 times. So it's a reality how Kyle knows how to, manage his run game. So at the end of the day, that's what I see. And of course, for those in the chat, for you guys finally seeing me my face for the first time, it's Niners all day. And it's not Cardinals, Rams, or Seahawks. It's Niners. Because at Candlestick Park, when we won, we always use the phrase, it's Niners all day. So that's my take on the Rams and 49ers game.
It was crazy. All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, ultimately, I'm kind of just disappointed it wasn't a better game. Like, I feel like the Niners came out to play, and it seemed like the Rams were just kind of going a second week in a row, just going too soft. And it was like such a mirror image of that game against the Titans, where first drive, Stafford throws an interception. Yeah, OBJ probably gave up on that route, but why was he also throwing into double coverage deep on like this first pass to OBJ? Like, I mean, we're just trying to get something cool going, I guess. That's fine, but It's like, why do that? And then the pick six, I mean, this one I'll take a little bit more than I'll take over that Titans one, because that Titans one, it was like, what were you even looking at, bro? Like, where was that supposed to go? And then this one, it was just that bobble, and I mean, for lack of a better term, and of course, being in the right position is a big deal, but it was kind of a lucky pick, and he was able to just get it going, and Higbee does not usually drop those passes. Kupp was out here dropping passes, stuff like that. It's just not our day, man, straight up.
Yeah, the little bit on that game, I was watching it as well. I got to give kudos, man. The 49ers, You're right. They came to play, and they almost kind of seem to play the same freaking play over and over again. It's kind of like when you're playing Madden and you know darn well that the opponent does not know how to stop this one play. They kept doing it over and over again, and they just kept running it. And kudos to what they did all game. Kyle Shanahan stuck to his plan. It worked to a T. And Deebo Samuels, man, that guy, I have him in my fantasy football league. That guy is awesome.
He is good. And I don't know why, because I realize that the comments now were like, oh man, look out for Deebo. But it's like, I mean, am I alone that we've known he's been good? Like, why are we covering this guy? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, and yeah, you're right, John Jay. Is like with that speed, he was covered decent on that play. And then caught it and then was just gone. Hit the Jets and was gone. But somebody like Jalen Ramsey, I don't think lets him get out of there at least that easy. You know what I mean? Like once that ball's caught, it's maybe a tackle at least. You know what I mean? So, but at this whole experiment on the defense where we're putting Jalen on rookies who barely see the football, stuff like that, that's just got to stop, man. It's become a problem, and we're not too thrilled about it, but we still have no Steezy. Maybe he's in traffic or something like that. So basically what we'll do is we'll just kind of talk about this one a little bit. The Packers and the Seahawks game. It did not go well for the Seahawks. It was a shutout, first time in Russell Wilson's career that he's been shut out. I will be honest, guys, I did not see this one coming. I was putting money on Seattle to win this game. I thought that I kind of let the storylines get into my head. I let all the storylines of when players come off of COVID, they usually take about 2 weeks to really get themselves back. And it's like, all right, well, Aaron, maybe I could do that. And then Russ coming back is like, man, Russ is going to be on fire. He's not going to want to lose this game. And they just were not doing it, man. But yeah, I was a little surprised to see that one. The Seahawks, though, I mean, they did not look awesome in this game. Did you guys get a chance to watch this one?
I didn't get a chance to watch it, just to look at the highlights here and there. Honestly, I think it was kind of that situation where the Seattle Seahawks ran into a Green Bay Packers defense that's actually really a lot better than a lot of people are thinking. Obviously, they held it to 0 points, 17-0. The Green Bay Packers ended up winning. But although Russell Wilson is cleared to come back, I don't think he should have come back. Honestly, I think the better opportunity would have been maybe Geno Smith. I know that they were trying to get that, that whole hype parade going through, like, oh, Russell Wilson's back, everybody watch out. And I bought into the Kool-Aid too. I was right there with you. This is going to be such a good game. We got Green Bay Packers versus the Russell Wilson-led, Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be so good. And honestly, he fell flat. He threw 2 interceptions. I think he didn't have more than 180 yards passing. He just was slinging the rock, but I don't think it was him. Like, I don't think he's all quite 100% there. Might work out to the advantage of the Arizona Cardinals next week. I don't know. He's got an extra week to heal up, but that game was a disappointment.
Yeah, it definitely was. John Jay, did you get a chance to check that one out?
Yes, I did. And I saw that game, and I was not thrilled with both teams. Of course, I'm happy the Seahawks lost. As a 49er fan, I'm not a big Seahawks fan. I want to tell you guys a story when Navarro Bowman and got injured. That stadium cheered for an injured player. That's a human being. So I lost a little bit respect for that organization because how they treated a person. They threw stuff at him. So I was happy that they lost. The thing that I saw about that game is that Aaron Rodgers showed that. I don't know what happened. I don't think he's in sync anymore. I don't know what's going on with the Packers offense. It took them a long time for them to get a touchdown, early in the fourth quarter. And I don't know what happened with the Seahawks. They played really well. I don't know what the defense did, but the offense did not look so good. I don't know what happened. It was a game that I didn't even care anymore to watch it. It was just boring to watch. There's nothing positive I can say about either team, but it really shows you when the Packers, were playing really bad, how were you not able to score points on them? Because it was 17-0, and you gave them a touchdown early in the fourth quarter. It was just a sad reality, just watching this game, and, it is what it is. I don't like watching boring football games, so it was just horrible in general for both teams. So I did not like the game, but I'm happy the Packers won. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I feel that, man. It's That's actually the Rams' next opponent because coming on to the bye, and then the next game will be at the Green Bay Packers, and that's one of those ones that you see the schedule comes out, and we're LA team, and you see at Green Bay November 28th, you're like, dang it, like come on, man, you couldn't give me a September Lambeau game. It's not cool, man. But we'll head into week 11 here, and at least for this one, I'm glad, because I don't know where Steezy's at. I hope he's okay. Okay, that's all I can give you guys right now. But we do at least have the other side of the argument here, and we'll give Steezy losses on his picks. We'll just, like we did last week, we gave him all the underdogs, but that didn't actually work out because that included the Niners and
the Niners, yeah. and actually the Carolina Panthers. Dang it. Just skew it. He didn't have a vote.
Oh my gosh, he went 3-0. We tried to screw him up.
Right.
That's too bad. All right. So, we'll start with the LA Rams because Rams are on a bye week this week. So I'll be honest, guys. I think that the timing is ideal, coming off of 2 rough losses, 2 honestly embarrassing losses, where just kind of we're sitting here like scratching our heads, like what are we doing out here? Like this is not our offense. I don't know what happened here. You know what I mean? Like Stafford's all of a sudden sailing balls. I think the Robert Woods injury, which is extremely unfortunate, I think that's actually going to end up being a bigger deal than people are giving it credit for. And that sucks, because there's that one pass that they went to the back of the end zone to Ben Skoranek. That's who's replacing Woods, and it went right through his hands. And it's like those moments that I'm like, if that is the impact right there, that is the impact of losing Robert Woods, that's a touchdown if that's Bobby Trees. You know what I mean? And now it's Ben Skoranek, this rookie late round pick. That kind of stuff happens. But I think it's good timing. And then, of course, we'll preview the Rams Packers next week. What do you got, Mike?
Before we jump into the previews and stuff like that, I want to hear your personal opinion on OBJ and what you felt like his first game was. Because me, I was like, okay, cool. Poison. He's gonna poison your locker room. What, day later somebody gets hurt? I mean, granted, it's not Robert, and it's not. There's nothing to happen. It's just coincidence. But
yeah. Well,
how do you feel about it, man?
I'll be honest, because like the way that I look at the OBJ addition is when he was in New York with the Giants and they had adults running the program, Coughlin in particular. OBJ was awesome, and I mean he was insane. They get rid of him. They get a little bit more immature, I guess. Their coach has like that slick back hairdo. Who's that? Ben McAdoo.
Yeah, they get the
like that. And if it's like that, that's when everything kind of started falling apart. Then he goes to the Cleveland Browns, who I think are headed in the right direction, but they're not there yet. They're still a dysfunctional organization. So the Rams are not that, and so I do feel good about that at least. And I don't think that OBJ, like I think that this Rams team, I think that our locker room and our camaraderie is stronger than OBJ. Like I don't think that OBJ can come in and destroy this locker room. I really don't. I'll be honest. I think that the worst person in the locker room today, way over OBJ, is Raheem Morris, and that is because you see already the players getting angry and starting to get angry on the sideline and make some comments to the coaching staff. So I think that that's the actual cancer right now in that Rams locker room. But I'll be honest, man, I mean, there's no denying OBJ's talent. I mean, he's obviously extremely skilled, and you bring him into this team, and we do lose Robert Woods, and that's really unfortunate. But I mean, based on his first performance with the Rams, I mean, he had 3 practices, and we couldn't even do what we wanted to do. I mean, even the announcers were talking about something that I was prepared to comment about too, is that like we couldn't even do hurry up because we had to tell him what to do in the huddle. You know, like we can't just be like calling out signals and stuff and have him know what's going on. So that kind of shifted things. I do anticipate that his impact will increase as the season goes on. But I mean, honestly, with what we saw in the first game, that's what I expected out of this first game. Honestly, like I didn't expect a whole lot. And honestly, he also, when we did that, we put him in the backfield and sent him out left to the flat, and that pulled up 2 defenders and then had Cooper Kupp running down the sideline. That's the kind of stuff that's going to be important with adding OBJ, is opening up stuff like that. So I like the addition, honestly, and we only really pay him good money if we win the Super Bowl. So
yeah, that's true.
It's fine, you know. But we'll get into these other games here. We'll go ahead and start with the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Arizona Cardinals 8-2, Seattle Seahawks sitting at 3-6 alone in last place, and we can bash them all we want because there's nobody here to defend them.
Right.
Place in the cellar. Get out your binoculars so you can see the Seahawks all the way down there. And they're sitting alone there in last place, especially with that 49ers win. So take it away, man. What do you got?
This game, we're going to Lumen Field, so it's going to be away for the Arizona Cardinals. Honestly, we've been undefeated on away. We've actually sucked at home. So I think we did lose our number 1 seed to the Packers because obviously they got the tiebreaker over us because they beat us. So I think in the grand scheme of things, I think this is going to be a win for the Cardinals. I don't think Russell Wilson is 100% still. They gave him 4 weeks and they rushed him back out because he was supposed to be the savior to get them to the playoffs. I think Russell Wilson obviously is the guy. He's done it before, but it's just way too quick. That injury was supposed to do anything between 4 weeks to 8 weeks. 4 weeks was being very optimistic. And I do think he should have been out a little longer. I think we saw what type of player, his skill set showed. Well, not skill set, but what he did against the Packers defense. It kind of showed a lot. And I do think that our defense is actually very, very good as well. So I think the Cardinals are going to be able to pull this off. Not only just because, hey, I'm a Cardinals fan, but we always do very, very well when we play up in Lumen Field or CenturyLink at that point when we used to play them up there. So I think the Cardinals will win. I think it'll be better. I think Russell Wilson will have his finger healed up a little bit better, but I still do think that the Cardinals are going to be able to pull off the win. I'm going to say 28-17 Cardinals.
All right, John Jay.
All right, so when I look at divisional matchup games, a lot of people forget that they're the toughest matchups. It doesn't matter if you're last place and first place. It doesn't really matter. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Colts, that was a very close game, but Trevor Lawrence, he fumbled. What could have happened? So that's just a reminder, how tough division games are. Russell Wilson, for some reason, did not play well against the Packers. But Russell Wilson, I still have faith in him that he's going to play the best he can. The problem is how good their run game, their run defense, and their pass defense. I remember a few weeks ago when I had Steezy on, they were near the bottom. And then a couple of weeks ago, they were like ranked 32 with their run defense. That is horrible. Those are by the numbers. That's not no BS. That's by the numbers. The Cardinals, against us, they kicked our butts. They ran on us. They destroyed us. It's a reminder. But at the same time, numbers don't tell the whole picture. I think the Cardinals still have the edge right now against the Seahawks, but it's going to be a very close game. I think this game is going to be very close. I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I'm going to choose the Cardinals, and I'm going to have it a very tight score of a 27-26 game. The Cardinals win by 1 because it's going to be a tough game. I think what they did against the Packers is a reminder. It's any given Sunday, any given Monday night, any given Thursday night. Anything can happen.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. By the way, you're picking for CG this week, just so I'm gonna keep that going. But yeah, for this game, I mean, these divisional games are intense, and we've seen already a bunch of wild NFC West versus NFC West games this season. The Arizona Cardinals going up to Lumen, though. This is an interesting one because coming off of that beating that they took by the Panthers, I mean, I think Arizona. Now they are officially in second place in the NFC playoff race. I mean, Packers are sitting at that 1 seed right now. So I think that they obviously know that. And if they don't know that, then, I mean, that would be weird. But they know that everybody's right there. And that not only are they second place now, but there's also a whole stack of NFC teams that are right behind them. And so if the Arizona Cardinals want to get that 1 seed, I think they can. I mean, they need to be able to win on the road in Seattle. I'm going to pick the Arizona Cardinals in this one. I don't really trust the Seahawks right now. It's to get shut out, I think, is very telling. And I realize that that's the first time it's ever happened to Russ. And I also realize that the Packers defense is playing really good football right now. And that's kind of like, I think, being ignored a little bit of how good the Green Bay Packers defense actually is. But I think the Cardinals, after getting smoked like that, I think that they're going to come in definitely ready to play in this one. And I think it'll be a decently tight game, not necessarily as tight as you're saying here, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go 27-17. Kyler Murray's back, right?
Great question.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of kind of darkness that's going on right now because I think that there was a report saying that the Arizona Cardinals are trying to get somebody off somebody's practice squad. But I do think that
that makes me not confident.
Yeah, it doesn't make me confident, but I think that that's more for Colt McCoy because Colt McCoy also got kicked out of that game as well. He ended up getting hurt. So when we got Chris Streveler in, which is our third string quarterback, the damage was already done. There was no way that he was going to be able to come up on that defense and try to make a comeback. He's not Kyler Murray. There's a reason why he's a third string quarterback. I think Kyler will be fine. I know I said the same thing last week as well, but I got to have confidence, man, because we need him. I miss him.
Is Seattle favored in that game?
I doubt it. I think Cardinals are.
Let me take a look here.
Yeah, take a look.
Only 2.5 they're giving Arizona. All right. So I'll give Steezy the underdog. I'll give him his Seahawks for this one. But that doesn't make me confident in Arizona if Kyler Murray's not playing. What's Skelton doing? Do you guys have his number still?
Oh, brother, I haven't heard that name in a hot second.
You're welcome because I know you wanted that. So
I'll probably call either Lindley. Who was those other ones that we had? We had a lot of. We'll call Rosen first, man. We'll call him first.
I don't know. There was something about watching John Skelton play that, as a Rams fan, made me real happy. I liked watching what he did.
Derek Anderson.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one, actually. If Murray doesn't play, I am not confident in that pick. I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals because we also saw off of a loss against Green Bay, they did what nobody thought that they were going to do, which was kind of take it to the 49ers. They played really, really well in that game. The coaching of that game was very crisp on that one. So, let's go ahead and get over to our final game here, which is actually going to be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. 49ers now in third place at 4-5. Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting at 2-7. This game is an early game, which I know for all of us, especially our California squads, we hate seeing them go to the East Coast and kick off at 10 a.m. It is the worst thing ever. But what do you got on this one, John Jay?
Well, you know, one thing about the 49ers season that I can say is that nothing is certain anymore in 49er land because the way we've been playing horrible. We've played horrible, you know, at the end of the game against the Lions, horrible against uh, the Philadelphia Eagles. We played horrible in the start of the first half against the Bears. The only game we've actually played really well was against the Rams. So I'm kind of glad that we actually, you know, won that game. But to be serious, to be 100% serious, the Jaguars, you know, they had a really good victory a few weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills. So it's any given Sunday. I do believe the Niners are going to win this game if we follow the same formula we did the same way. Run the football, play action. Run the football, play action. On the defense side of the ball, as long as Nick Bosa is not held, because in that game, your left tackles held him so many times, man. I don't know why you guys do that. You guys are afraid of a guy who came off an ACL injury. That's how it shows you what Nick Bosa really is. Then, as long as Arden Key in the middle of that interior defensive line does really well in the run game, we're going to do really good there. One name that no one's talking about because everyone says Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shaair. Get to know that name, Azeez Al-Shaair. This guy is a good run blocker, a good pass blocker. He's a good sideline to sideline, back and forth. He's really quick. He's also a good extension of the pass game. He could be like a type of safety. So he does it all. And then, of course, we got this guy, Talanoa Ufunga. You must know about him already, Rams dude. Talanoa Ufunga, former USC guy. That guy's the real deal. And our secondary, if we continue playing penalty-free, that's how we're going to win the game. If everything goes really well, I have the 49ers winning this game. It's not going to be a big score. We're not going to destroy the Jaguars. It's going to be probably 27 to 14. That's my score that I got.
All right, we'll go over to AZ.
Yeah, I honestly think that this is 49ers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, but I think 49ers are definitely going to win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. They coming off a really, really good win over the Rams, and I think they're going to have that same momentum coming through. I agree with what John Jay's doing. As long as they do what they did, run, play action. It's working for Jimmy G. And he definitely, got some kudos for this win because he held his composure and he did a very, very good job in this game. So I got to give kudos there. I'm probably one of the biggest haters for Jimmy G, but he definitely did a very, very good job. But Deebo Samuel, man, watch out for that. That guy's going to go off versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me tell you that. I'm going to say prediction. I'm going to say 31 to 21.
All right.
49ers.
No one's going to like this. No one's going to like this at all. But I think that the game with the Rams and the 49ers on Monday Night Football, I think the 49ers, they obviously played really well, but I think that the Rams played so poorly that it gave that entire fan base the false image that this 49ers team is real this year, and I don't think that they are. This Jacksonville Jaguars team cannot be overlooked. They are not a very good team, but they can surprise some people. And I don't even know how much of a surprise I would give it if the Jaguars won this game. There's something about this one. I think that the 49ers off of this game against the Rams, I think they're going to be a little bit too high on themselves. And these Jags they're a feisty little team, man. Even I'm sad that the Urban Meyer storyline went away so fast. That really makes me sad. I was really eating up that storyline, but there's something about this game, man. I feel I'm going Jaguars on this game, and I think that the 49ers might come in a little cocky. Maybe their nose is a little too high up, and the Jags they're not a team you can do that with. I think it'll be a very tight game, and I think it'll be one of those where Jimmy is kind of the questions are still going to be there after this game of it's do we keep rolling with them? We're right there on the cusp of maybe being a playoff team, but obviously Trey Lance is the future. What do we kind of? I think that is going to be the storyline again after this one. So I am going to go with the Jags on this one, but I am going to say it's close. I'm going to go 16-17, but I'm going to go with a Jags.
Let's see. I have something to say because CG, he's brutally honest. He goes by, how he feels about the team. Well, unfortunately, all you guys are wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle never intended to have Trey Lance start. It's done. The media can give him a hard time. Yeah, because that's just how Kyle is. Kyle is egotistical when it comes to that. So while people understand that Trey has a better upside, Trey Lance is raw. He's very raw. Basically, he has the dimensions to become a really good quarterback. And a lot of people who don't follow the 49ers, especially on my channel, I give people the hard facts. And I wanted to piggyback on that because Kyle has been saying as long as this team is mathematically eliminated, they're going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. So even if they lose, they're going to roll with Jimmy against the Vikings game until they're mathematically impossible. And if you're a fan and you love football, like what kind of coach, is going to stick with a quarterback? That's us 49er fans, what we have to deal with. So I wanted to clear that little thing up about that. But it does make sense why Trey should be playing.
Well, okay, so you're saying that Trey is not going to be a starter. That's what you're saying? You're like, okay, I guess the way that I'm interpreting whatever you just said was that that you guys moved up and traded Trey so that he could be a backup quarterback. Is that correct or no?
And that's what happened, and that's the reason why I'm frustrated. Why did you trade up? Because there were a lot of rumors that Trey Lance was not going to be drafted until the 7th pick in the draft because Matt Rule actually wanted him over Sam Darnold. But that's a different argument and a different debate about that. But it shows you how much they really wanted a quarterback, and I think what they wanted to do was keep a quarterback to develop. And I think when you trade up that high, unfortunately, you have to play him. And, Trey Lance is making a lot of money being on the bench. So that's also an issue. So it's just a very chaotic situation. Jimmy's okay. I'm not saying Jimmy's garbage. He's better than like Nathan Peterman, those quarterbacks. He's pretty good. It's just that, unfortunately, Kyle and John and the owner, which I'm not a big fan of the owner, decided to do that. And that's the thing, what a lot of fans forget who follow the 49ers in general. But that's a little thing, what I want to say about that Jimmy and Trey situation.
Okay, so 2022 season, week 1, who's the starting quarterback of the Niners?
That is going to be Trey Lance.
Okay, so I see what John Jay is saying. So, technically, I definitely see where you're coming from because after the win, you guys are 4-5. So the last person, the last seed right now is Carolina with 5-5. That's their record. So you're literally 1 win away, or let's say 1.5 to 2 wins away from being in contention. I guess just really depends on tiebreakers and all that different stuff. So I can see where you're coming from. Jimmy G is going to be the guy as long as you guys are in that race, playoff race. I definitely see where you're coming from. If it gets too ugly, maybe the last 4 games, if it's like you guys are out, I think it's Trey Lance show, right?
Yes, very simple.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that absolutely checks out because there's like 2 different versions of being eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah. There's the mathematical elimination where there's no possible way you could win out and have all the help you want, but it's just not enough. And then there's also the emotional elimination, which I think you guys would have faced if you guys would have lost to the Rams, which would have been 0-4 division record, 3-6 season record. Of course, that's not what happened, but that would have been like an emotional elimination from the playoffs. It's like, how do you recover from that when the best you can do in divisions 2-4, just kind of like just sitting way back there in the mess of like the bottom of the NFC kind of thing, like the Seahawks or something, and, and yeah, that would, I think I can definitely agree with what you're saying here. That as long as there's a chance, Jimmy is the guy, but the second there's not a chance, let's get the young guy going. So that makes sense. If anybody's got any questions, drop them now. If you guys have any questions, go ahead.
I got a question for you, Rams. Or Joe. Rams. Joe.
I'll go by that.
So, back-to-back losses.
Yeah.
Titans and then 49ers.
Yeah.
Realistically, do you think you can go 0-3? Because Packers are a tough team. We've said it over and over again. When you start pushing that panic button, well, obviously you'll go to the playoffs. Your team is very, very good. There's no doubt. But when is it I don't know, what panic mode? Are you in panic mode when it comes down to that? If you go 0-3 in these last 3 games?
The only reason that I would hit panic mode would be if we see the same exact crap out of this coaching staff that we've seen these last 2 games, which is not running the football and playing extremely soft coverage. Why are we letting every 49er on the roster get open underneath on 3rd and 4? You know what I mean? Why is this happening? And why is there no adjustment to that? Why is there no adjustment to the same damn run play that the 49ers are doing all game long? Why can't you not adjust to that? And then on the offensive side, are we going to use Darrell Henderson, or is that even? Should we even put a running back out there anymore?
True.
So that's when I'll hit the panic button, is if we see that again. But based on the press conferences and everything that we saw, which honestly I was not super big on this the members that we sent out for the press conferences. It was Von Miller, OBJ. So like it was like, I get it, big names, brand new teams like that. You got to send them out there, but what the heck were they going to give us, man? They haven't been with us the whole season. They don't actually know. So I wanted to see Raheem Morris. I really wanted answers from him. And I'm really excited to see a press conference from him this week. But Sean McVay's in there, and he's saying he says the same thing, and it's unfortunate that he's out here saying, I got to do a better job of getting the balance and not abandoning this and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that's awesome, man, but I mean, stop saying it, and how about we just see it actually out there? So if we can see the run game actually get, let me just look really fast at how many carries we even had, because it was like 11 runs total, I think. It's 10 runs total. One of those was a 1-yard run by Stafford. So 5 carries for Henderson, 4 carries for Sony Michel. So
that's ridiculous.
You cannot win that way. It's not in the NFL. You cannot win that way when the entire defense is like, well, they're not going to run it. So how about we just cover the hell out of everybody? Like, even though we have weapons, you're just not going to do it. So, and then against the Tennessee Titans real fast too. I just want to look at this one real fast. That's 20 carries, but that includes Stafford and Robert Woods carrying the football as well. So just 11 for Darrell Henderson. So that'll be the panic mode, is if we still are not even trying to run the football, and if this defense is just extremely soft and conservative. I guess my point on the defense here is Raheem Morris is the opposite of everything that the Rams stand for. Like, we're going out here getting OBJ, Von Miller. We're aggressive. We're going to getting guys. We're trading away picks and doing all this stuff. And then we're going to have a super soft and conservative defensive coordinator. It just doesn't play into our style. I don't think he fits in.
I agree with what you said, man. When it comes down to Sean McVay, I think he's still kind of hyped up on the train of having Matthew Stafford, but it's ended up biting him in the butt, man. It's not playing Henderson when he's a very, very capable running back and can get you 80 to 90, 100 yards if he's having a good game.
He hasn't had a 100-yard game since like week 4 of last year, man, because we just don't even let him.
Yeah, exactly. Because everything's Stafford. And what we talked about in that last game when they're in the 4 or 5 yard line, throw, no run to Henderson at all. And it's almost to the fact where it looks like it's, he's just trying to pad his stats. It looks like he's trying to just make sure that his new shiny toy is getting all this, glory, because I don't know, man, it seems like a sinking ship right now. But let me add this right now. I forgot. Train of thought lost. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, it's fine. If anybody's got questions, by the way, make sure you guys drop them in a super chat, because I have a very simple brain, and the super chats are bright and colorful. Those catch my eyeballs. The blank, the grays, boring. Don't like them.
I don't play that game.
Yeah.
You have any questions, Judge?
Yes, I have a question, because these Rams, guys are, they're hilarious. They're having fun. But can those in the chat and also the sheriff explain to me, Aaron Darnold is a Pro Bowl, player, right? Why does a guy who played in the AAF, that the fake football, they did a couple of years ago, dominating a Pro Bowler? Because you guys are taking really good liberties. That should not make any sense.
You said it earlier.
That doesn't make any sense.
Any given Sunday, any given Monday, any given Thursday. You said it. That's your answer.
I know, but every time this guy Daniel Brunskill has been playing horrible the entire year. He was trash. I was done with him, and he dominates one of the best or the best, the defensive line players. So
interesting choice, but it is also, like I said, it's the parody of the NFL, man. It's there. You never know. And we actually did mention it last week. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the episode last week, but we actually talked about that. One of the ways that the 49ers have been able to, I don't want to say dominate Aaron Donald, because I don't think that that's the case, especially some of the plays that we saw from him. I wouldn't call that dominating Aaron Donald. What I would say is you kind of neutralize him a little bit, because Kyle Shanahan is very good at using his aggressiveness kind of against him. He gets, and it didn't work out a couple times. We saw that, where off the line, the read just was too fast for the running back, and he gets swallowed up by Aaron Donald in the backfield. But Kyle Shanahan is pretty good at using that aggression against him and going away from Aaron Donald, not even letting the play go near Aaron Donald. So we saw more of that in this game. That's all. I wouldn't say it was a dominating performance or anything like that. Yeah, they did a good good job. That offensive line definitely did a good job. But there was moments in the game at different times, especially I think more in the third into the fourth quarter. There was strings of plays where guys like Jalen Ramsey felt like they were going to take over, only lasted 3 or 4 plays and kind of fell off. And that also happened with Von Miller as well as Aaron Donald. They all kind of took their turns of like what felt like it was going to be like a takeover. It's like, all right, now our superstar is about to make some moves, and it just didn't happen. But yeah, it's just aggression, man. Aggression against us. That happens with Donald sometimes.
Well, I got a buddy of mine, and I have to say this for him, for my buddy. He's a Bears fan. He says the Bears scored more points than you guys. Facts.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Hey! The Bears are 3-6 or what? 3-7, and you guys were like 7 and something, and you guys only put 7 points on us. So I'm a little bit confused.
How are you gonna keep doing this, man? You literally say any given Sunday, any given Monday, and then you're like, what? But this happened this one time. Like, dude, come on now.
Hey! In my channel, we ask the tough questions, and John Jay does not hold back.
That's fair.
You're not asking tough questions. You're contradicting yourself, bro. Come on now.
Well, I could honestly,
that's okay. Don't worry. That's all right. Don't worry.
I could honestly say I think there's some teams that play just other teams just very, very well. I think Panthers, although they're not, you're calling it like not a good team, but like, man, they beat us all the time. I don't know what it is about the Panthers. We can be 8-1, which we were, and they were 4-5, and they just dominated us. And the same thing, like CG was saying. I think Sheriff Joe should have just let CG talk, because it seems like it. Kyle Shanahan has the number of Sean McVay. That's what it seems like. And the last 4 years, Sean McVay had Cliff Kingsbury's number, or at least not the last 2 years, because that's always the coach. But the Arizona Cardinals' number. We finally got over the hump, but we need to get over the hump in order for us to being able to get that smack talk. But that's the beauty of the NFL, right? I mean, we were 8-0, and that's what he had held on against us. So now we made it over the hump. We got one. It's like that little Giants movie, we got one.
Yeah, and the Rams have had those teams too. That it just seems like even no matter how good they are, we seem to be able to beat them. Like, and for like the late 2000s or like the 2000s time, even when the Rams were like absolutely awful, 6 wins in 3 years bad. Like that year that we won 2 games, our 2 wins that year, one was against the Browns and the next one was against the Saints. And like the Saints were a playoff team. They were sitting like with 9 wins at the time or something like that, and just rolling on everybody. And then they came to St. Louis and just got beat. That was one of our teams.
Beat the Bucks too. Like that's a big upset too. Washington football team just came out and smoked the Bucks, man.
Yeah, what the heck, man? And Brady's not happy about it, but hey. That's cool because I realize we're sitting as a 3-loss team as well, but and we got the head-to-head on Tampa, so I'll take that. But I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to matter. I don't think that the Rams win the division, so I don't think the head-to-head with Tampa even comes into relevance at all. I think we're 5 seed and that's it.
I'm glad you realize it now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, it hurts. It hurts to say that.
Let us have this. Okay, this is the first time in 5-6 years that we've had something. Let us have this division.
I got you, man. I got you. That's fine. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and wrap up here. But hey, man, John Jay, first of all, man, thank you so much for filling in, man. I genuinely appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for coming and talking some ball with us, man.
Yeah, thanks again as well. CJ will be back next week. Had some issues, with his reception, all that stuff. But again, thanks very much for having me, guys. I know it's being goofy and messing around with you. But at the end of the day, to be serious, talking football. I love talking football, not just with the 49ers. Shout out to all my 49er brethren in the chat going after everybody, because we 49ers, we go hard at anybody when you criticize the best team in the NFL.
We didn't criticize the Rams. All right, guys. That's it, man. Next week, same day, Tuesdays, we'll do the NFC West Roundtable again. We'll check on Steezy. We'll hope he's okay. Either way, I gave him all the underdogs, so he does get his Seahawks. He's also getting the Jags in this one. But that's it, man. Thank you guys for hanging out, and go Rams.
You guys, thank you.
No, let's go Niners.